Okay, get this. Picture having an AI that can, like, do all your research for you, or imagine sketching like Picasso, but, with the AI guiding your hand. Well, that's not science fiction anymore. That's happening NW. Today, we're diving deep right into this stack of fresh articles about AI, talking about the latest breakthroughs, the applications, and even some, potential risks.
It's mind-blowing how fast this field is evolving. Stuff that used to be just like theoretical is now actually impacting industries and markets and even, our personal lives.
Right, so let's unpack this AI landscape, starting with those
Right.
big names. OpenAI and Meta. They're always battling it out. OpenAI is making waves with ChatGPT Pro, which sources 3 and 43 say can tackle some pretty complex tasks. But here's the catch, it's going to cost you.
Yeah, that high price tag, it's a strategic move by OpenAI, positioning it as like a premium tool for businesses and pros. But my guess is they'll have more affordable options, for us regular folks down the line.
It's like they're playing 4D chess with this stuff, right?
Right.
And they're aiming to be, get this, the best teacher out there. That's straight from source 4. But things get even more interesting. Sources 2 and 47 reveal OpenAI's thinking about removing a clause that, well, it prevents Microsoft from using their most advanced models, even potentially AGI, that's artificial general intelligence, basically AI as smart as, well, us.
If Microsoft gets a hold of AGI, that could give them a huge edge. But it does make you think, right, about like the power being concentrated in one company.
Right, the implications are massive. And then there's Meta, they're not backing down. They've got Llama 3.3, and this new model's all about efficiency. Sources 1 and 51 say it needs way less computing power.
That focus on efficiency from Meta, that could be a game changer. It could mean more people can actually access powerful AI, researchers, developers, even with limited resources.
So we've got OpenAI teaming up with Microsoft, Meta focusing on accessibility. But let's not forget the big guy, Google.
Right, Google's been kind of quiet. But Source 19 says their DeepMind team, they've unveiled Gemini. They're being pretty secretive about the details, but they're saying it's their most powerful model yet.
And they're not just building these super powerful models. Source 20 says they're using AI to, get this, master the game diplomacy. It's a board game, but it's known for being crazy complex, all about strategic thinking and negotiation.
If AI can win at diplomacy, that's a huge GE leap. It means it's getting really good at understanding social dynamics in those, tricky situations.
It's almost like AI is learning to play the game of, well, being human. But amidst all this tech progress, there's another side to the story. Safety and those ethical concerns. I mean, the FBI is actually warning people about scams powered by AI. Source 5 even suggests using secret codes to outsmart them. Kind of creepy, right?
It is, especially how sophisticated these scams are getting. It makes you wonder, how do we protect ourselves in a world where AI can be used for good and bad?
And on top of that, Source 12 dives into the potential for AI clones to be used against our families. This expert suggests strong human connection and verification, like actually checking things, could help. But is that really enough with all these deepfakes and synthetic media becoming so realistic?
It's a valid question. We're in uncharted territory here. It's not just about building powerful AI, it's about building it responsibly and making sure it's used ethically.
Okay, so we've got these ethical concerns. And then on top of that, there's a ton of investment pouring into AI. Source 6 reports Elon Musk's XAI. It just hit a staggering $12 billion in capital.
Yeah, that just shows you how important AI is becoming economically. It's not some niche field anymore. It's attracting huge GE investments.
And it's not just the big players like Musk who are seeing the potential. Source 24 talks about this decentralized project. It's basically a network for AI development and blockchain. And they just got $40 million in funding.
It's like everyone wants a piece of the AI pie.
Exactly. And now AI is popping up everywhere. Source 7 talks about how it's revolutionizing fleet safety in the transportation industry. Imagine fewer accidents on the road, thanks to AI.
Yeah, the impact on logistics and deliveries could be massive. More efficient, lower costs, and of course, safer for everyone.
And it's not just about being practical. Source 8 suggests upcoming AI features could make Pixel devices, Google's phones, even more appealing.
It seems like AI is becoming the must-have feature.
And then there's Palantir, their stock is soaring. Source 9 says it's because of their secret AI weapon.
Palantir's success shows you if companies invest in AI, they could see big rewards. But it also raises those questions about transparency, and how this tech could be misused.
It feels like we're on the edge of a massive shift, both in technology and society, and it's all happening so fast.
It is. We're entering a new era, and it's important to stay informed.
So let's dive into some of the specific models and applications generating all this buzz. Source 18 suggests the QWQ32B preview might be the reasoning AI to watch.
QWQ's reasoning capabilities, they're impressive, especially for its size. It uses this unique approach to language processing, kind of like how humans think.
So it's actually reasoning, not just processing data.
Right, and that suggests we could be close to AI that can solve problems like we do, maybe even better.
And then you've got Microsoft with their Copilot. Source 23 talks about Copilot Vision, which lets AI literally see what you're doing online. I don't know, is that cool or creepy?
It's definitely fascinating, that's for sure. It's a good example of how AI is becoming more integrated into our digital lives. Imagine AI that can guide you through complex tasks online or even figure out what you need before you ask.
Like having a super smart assistant.
Exactly. But it also raises concerns about privacy and data security.
Yeah, how much access are we willing to give AI?
That's something we need to think about, both individually and as a society.
Now let's talk about healthcare. Source 27 hints at some incredible advancements, especially in using AI for MRI scans. They could be faster and more efficient.
The potential of AI in healthcare is huge. It's already improving diagnostics, treatment plans, patient care.
Imagine getting an MRI in half the time, and with better accuracy.
And it's not just about speed. AI is being used to personalize treatments, identify risks early on, and even develop new therapies.
So it's changing healthcare from the ground up. And then there's the art world. Vincent AI, mentioned in Source 11, it's like having Picasso in your pocket. It uses AI to help you sketch, even if you can barely draw a stick figure.
Vincent AI is a great example of how AI can make creativity accessible to everyone. It's not about replacing artists, it's about giving them new tools.
I tried it myself, and I was surprised at what I could create.
It's all about expanding those creative boundaries.
And speaking of pushing boundaries, Source 21 introduces ScribeAgent. It uses these fine-tuned LLMs, basically advanced language models, to make web navigation better.
It's like having a personalized AI assistant that scours the web for you. It can pull out the most relevant info based on your needs.
So instead of just giving you a list of websites, it understands what you're looking for.
Exactly. It's about moving from too much info to the right info.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground here, from those big tech companies to the ethical dilemmas and all these mind-blowing applications.
It's clear. AI is not just a futuristic idea anymore. It's shaping our world right now.
And with so much happening so fast, it's crucial to stay informed. So what are some of the key takeaways for our listener?
Well, the biggest one is AI is not one thing. It's a whole bunch of different technologies, each with its own potential. It's crucial to approach it with a critical eye, understand what it can and can't do, and be aware of the ethical side of things.
Right, it's not just about the tech itself. It's about how it impacts our lives, our society, and our future. We need to ask those tough questions, demand transparency, and ensure AI is used for good. We're about to dive into some other fascinating aspects of this AI world, so stick with us. We were just talking about how AI is showing up everywhere these days, even in places you might not expect, like the art world. Source 11 talks about this tool called Vincent AI. It lets you, sketch like Picasso. It uses these things called generative adversarial networks, or GANs for short.
Vincent AI is a perfect example of how AI can make creativity, more accessible. It's like anyone can be an artist, no matter their skill level. Imagine having a virtual art teacher guiding your hand, helping you create something amazing.
And it's not just about copying those classic styles, right?
Mm-hmm.
AI is being used to create completely new art forms, really pushing the boundary.
Exactly. It's like a collaboration. AI brings the tools, but the artists, they bring the vision, the direction.
Right. So it's expanding the possibilities, not replacing the human touch.
Speaking of expanding possibilities, Source 21 talks about ScribeAgent. It uses these finely tuned open source LLMs. Basically, they're super advanced language models, and it's supposed to make web navigation way better.
What's really cool about ScribeAgent is it can understand context. It goes beyond just keywords. It gets what you're actually looking for.
So it doesn't just give you a bunch of random websites. It actually understands your intent.
Exactly. It's about moving from information overload to, getting the exact info you need.
Okay, let's circle back to the big players for a minute. We talked about OpenAI and Meta, but what about Google? They've been pretty quiet lately. But Source 19 suggests they might be about to drop something huge called Gemini, their most advanced AI model yet.
The details are still under wraps, but the rumors are exciting. Some people think it could be a multimodal AI. That means it can handle text, images, audio, maybe even video.
Wow, like a one-stop shop AI. If it lives up to the hype, it could totally change how we use technology. It could become much more intuitive, immersive, more seamlessly integrated into our lives.
And while we're on the topic of Google's AI ambitions, Source 20 reveals they're using AI to master the game diplomacy.
Diplomacy, that's a tough one. It's all about negotiation, forming alliances, outsmarting your opponents. If AI can win at that, it's a big deal.
It's almost like AI is learning to navigate the complexities of human relationships, on a whole new level.
Yeah, and it has implications beyond gaming. Imagine AI helping with, like, international diplomacy or mediating conflicts.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about some of the concerns around AI. We mentioned AI-powered scams, but Source 5 also highlights the risks of AI being used for malicious purposes, like, creating sophisticated phishing attacks or spreading fake news.
It's a double-edged sword, right? The same things that make AI powerful can also be used for bad things.
So we need to be extra careful as we develop these technologies. It's like walking a tightrope, trying to harness the power of AI while making sure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
Exactly. We need those ethical frameworks, regulations, and safeguards in place.
And it's not just about preventing intentional misuse, right? There's also the potential for unintended consequences. Like Source 12 points out, AI systems could end up perpetuating existing biases or even creating new ones.
Bias in AI, that's a big concern. AI systems, they learn from the data we feed them. And if that data reflects our biases, well, the AI can pick those up too.
So we need to make sure the data used to train AI is diverse and representative.
Absolutely. And the algorithms themselves need to be designed to, like, counter those biases.
It's like we're building a whole new world, a digital one. And we need to make sure it's built on fairness and inclusivity.
It's a crucial point. The choices we make now, they're going to shape the future of AI.
Okay, let's get back to some specific applications. Source 18 mentions QWQ32B Preview, which they're calling the reasoning AI to watch.
What makes QWQ32B Preview stand out is its ability to, like, reason through complex tasks. It can process info, make logical connections, and even come up with creative solutions.
It's almost like AI is going from being a tool to being a thinking partner.
Exactly. We're moving towards AI that can work with us, help us solve problems, make better decisions.
At Microsoft, they're always pushing the limits with their Copilot suite. Source 23 talks about Copilot Vision, which basically lets AI see what you're doing online. It can offer help and insights based on your activity.
It's another example of how AI is becoming more integrated into our digital lives. Imagine having an AI assistant that can help you navigate those complicated websites or even give you feedback on your work.
Like having a virtual mentor, always there to help you out.
Exactly, but it also raises those privacy and security questions again.
Right, how much access is too much?
That's something we need to figure out.
Now let's not forget about healthcare. Source 27 talks about the progress being made with AI in medical diagnostics. Especially with MRI scans, they can become much faster and more accurate.
AI is revolutionizing healthcare, no doubt. It's improving diagnostics, treatments, everything.
Imagine getting an MRI in half the time, with better results.
And it's not just about speed. AI is helping personalize treatments, catch those risks early on, even develop new therapies.
It's a whole new era for healthcare. But with all this progress, we can't forget about the ethical side of things. We need to make sure AI is used responsibly, fairly, and transparently.
Absolutely. Ethics need to be a top priority.
Let's dive into those ethical considerations a bit deeper after a quick word from our sponsor.
We're back. And before we took a pause, we were talking about how AI is changing healthcare, revolutionizing it. And of course, we can't forget about all those ethical considerations.
You're right. It's crucial to think about how AI impacts society as a whole.
It's not just about, the fancy gadgets and the cool stuff. We need to make sure AI benefits everyone, not just a select few.
Source 17 really hammers that home.
Yeah.
They're calling for more collaboration between universities and companies, to make sure AI development is ethical. So it's about the people behind the tech, their values, and what could happen if things go wrong.
Exactly. We need to ask those tough questions, like who really benefits from AI, who might get left behind, and how can we use AI to make a more just world?
And that brings us back to those concerns we talked about earlier. Like Source 5, it highlights how AI could be used for scams and, malicious stuff.
We can't just ignore those threats. We need strong security, clear ethical guidelines for developers, and, we need to educate people about the risks.
It's like we're exploring this new territory, And we need a map to guide us.
A good analogy, we need those ethical principles to steer us in the right direction.
And it's not just about stopping bad actors, right? There's also the risk of unintended consequences, like that issue of bias we discussed.
Bias in AI, it's a big problem. AI learns from the data we give it, and if that data is biased, well, the AI can become biased too.
So the data used to train AI, it needs to be diverse, representative.
Absolutely. And those algorithms, they need to be designed to, like, counteract any biases.
It's like we're creating a new world, but a digital one. And we need to make sure it's fair and inclusive.
We're at a crossroads. The decisions we make today, they'll shape the future of AI.
And it's not just the responsibility of tech companies or researchers. Everyone needs to be part of this conversation, understand the impact of AI, and demand it's used for good.
It's true. AI is too important to be left just to the tech experts. We need everyone involved. Ethicists, policymakers, community leaders, everyone.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into AI, what are the key takeaways for our listeners?
Well, first, AI is evolving incredibly fast. Its impact is only going to get bigger, so stay informed and join the conversation.
And second, AI is not one thing, it's a bunch of different technologies, each with its own possibilities, good and bad.
Third, we need to think about the ethical side of AI and demand responsible, transparent development.
And lastly, the future of AI. It's not set in stone. It's being shaped right now by our choices, our questions, and our actions.
Stay curious, stay engaged, and help shape AI so that it benefits humanity.
Well said. And that's a wrap on our deep dives into the amazing world of AI. It's complex, it's constantly changing, but one thing's for sure, it's a world full of possibilities.